knowing infinite presence, source, is all there is. Right here, right now. And in this spirit, divine gifts unfold. The gifts of serenity, of connection, of mindfulness. And knowing that it's all one. I know I am one with this divine intelligence, with this divine soul, that each of us is one with all that is. And in this oneness, I celebrate our coming together. I celebrate the gifts of serenity, connection, mindfulness, being here in this presence, in this sacred space. All is in divine order. And knowing this, I realize these gifts, that our coming together is a divine connection. That as we move into our, more and more into our coming together, there is serenity and there is mindfulness. And knowing this is our truth, with my deepest gratitude, I release this into the law, knowing this is who we are, knowing this is truth, knowing this is what is. And together we can say, and so it is.
Our talk title, if you will, today is Om Shanti Om, and the whole monthly theme is moving pieces into peace. And I thought rather than talking about Om Shanti Om, we would have an experience of peace. St. Francis of Assisi said, before you speak of peace, you must first have it in your heart. Before you speak of peace, you must first have it in your heart. So my intention with this today for us is to deepen in our experience of peace within. So we may be the peace in our world and peace in our lives. Richard Rohr today says, training in nonviolence has understandably emphasized largely external methods and ways of acting and resisting. These are important and necessary, but we must go even deeper. Unless these methods reflect our inner attitudes, they will not make a lasting difference. We all must admit that our secret inner attitudes are often cruel, attacking, judgmental, and harsh. The ego seems to find its energy precisely by having something to oppose, fix, or change. When the mind can judge something to be inferior, we feel superior. We must recognize our constant tendency toward negating reality, resisting it, opposing it, and attacking it on the level of our mind. This is a universal addiction. Our true calling is to love one another as God has loved us. When we take this seriously, we are transformed into lovers who care for all beings. And in practical terms, this means resisting the tendency of the violence system to divide the world into various enemy camps. So we're going to begin in a moment with a chant, but first we're going to begin with releasing anything unlike peace within. Each of us has peace, but oftentimes it's covered over with other stuff, yes? And so we're going to practice forgiveness, release of judgment, release of condemnation. I always find forgiveness to be finding where it is that I've condemned somebody or something and releasing where I've made that judgment, where I've placed that condemnation on them. So we're going to let go of the rules of how we or others should behave, which is where we get into it, which is the way we would also like us to be treated for ourselves. Because if you're like me, you've made mistakes, you've done things that afterwards you say, that wasn't the most elegant way I could have done that. And you want to be forgiven. When we forgive, we choose the goodness of others over their faults. We experience God's goodness flowing through ourselves, and we also experience our own goodness in a way that surprises us. So one of the ways I look at things sometimes is, will I let it all, will this matter to me 50 years from now? And when I die, I'm going to let it all go anyways, so do I really want to carry this ball and chain of being angry or hurt by somebody for the rest of my life anyways? Yeah, it was unpleasant. Yeah, they did something that really didn't work. But do I want to carry that around with me for the rest of my life? Or do I want to be free? Do I want to be more at peace? So we want to love with the heart of God, be in the peace of God. And so we're going to start with an Om. And the Om is the song of the divine. Consider the song of the divine. And we're going to use that Om to align with that. Joseph Campbell says the mission of life is to align our heartbeat with the rhythm of the universe. And so I'm going to invite us to, we'll spend a few moments chanting the Om. And is Shani back there? You can bring the lights down just a little more. That'd be great. Perfect. Beautiful. Thank you. And we'll just do this organically until the room feels complete with that Om, and then we'll just move into silence for a little while. And I'll say another little bit after a bit of silence. We'll kind of have something else to contemplate, and then we'll move back into silence again. And we'll do that one more time. So, any questions before we begin? Anything that needs to be spoken? So I invite you as we begin this process to look at where have I placed judgments, where am I holding on to something that I'm ready to let go of, and to let this time and this collective energy support you in letting go of it. So join me, and you can mute my mic. Oh. And so we notice those places where we've held judgment about ourselves or another person, and let it go. If we don't get forgiveness, we're missing the whole mystery. We're still living in a world of meritocracy, of quid pro quo thinking, of performance and behavior that earns awards and punishments. Forgiveness is the great thawing of all logic, reason, and worthiness. It is a melting into the mystery of God as unearned love, unmerited grace, the humility and powerlessness of a divine lover. Without forgiveness, there will be no future. We have hurt one another in so many historically documented and remembered ways that the only way out of the present justified hatreds of the world is grace. And so as we free ourselves through releasing the thoughts and the feelings which we have used to bind ourselves, we bind ourselves to people, we bind ourselves to situations, we start to see from an expanded perspective. Since that infinite presence, God, whatever name you want to give it, is always present and everywhere present, and that one life is always a blessing, let us wrestle with whatever has held us back. Let us, like Jacob in the Bible, wrestle with the angel that has tried to prevent us from being in that state of heaven within. And let us call on our inner wisdom self to show us the blessings that have come from this person or this situation. And so I invite you for this next little segment to think about maybe a specific person or situation. And invite your inner wisdom self to reveal what are the gifts. How am I a better person for having gone through this? And let us open wide our hearts for a few moments. Open wide your heart in contemplation, seeing from the heart of God. We'll take a few more minutes in silence. Sometimes we contemplate what has been done to us, what is being done in the world, what we have done. It may be too difficult to even bring ourselves to forgive. We may have to simply, like Jesus, say, Father, forgive them. Infinite presence, forgive them. I don't know how. I'm not able to do it right now because they don't know what they're doing and I don't know how to forgive them. Sometimes all we have to do is choose to be an opening to allow love and grace to fill that space without having to fix it, without having to fix ourselves. Just be willing to be open. As we do that, as we wrestle with the angel and ask for a blessing, we find ourselves more free. As we have been purged and purified, as we have gained a greater awareness that God is all there is, and that the nature of the divine is always a blessing, we can be and we can walk this into life with boldness and with peace. Knowing that we walk in and as Spirit. Knowing that we have survived everything that we have survived, and that so we are greater than what we have survived, and there is in truth nothing to fear. And from this we truly know peace. And we truly are peace. And so let us sit in that peace, grounding it with the earth below us, opening to the sky above us, letting it flow out into a world that truly needs to know peace, love, and wholeness. We'll simply take a few moments being peace. In a moment, we'll close this time and anchor it with a traditional Hindu and Buddhist chant, Om Shanti 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 Om. Om, once again, is simply aligning with the song of the universe, the name of the infinite, but beyond just the name, the actual beingness of the infinite. Shanti simply means peace. In a way, it's a little bit of a Hindu version of a spiritual mind treatment. I open to the infinite presence and I call forth peace, 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 and release that into the infinite presence. And so join me as we do this 3 times for this chant. Om Shanti 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 Om. Om Shanti 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 Om. Om Shanti 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 Om. Infinite peace surrounds us, infinite peace within us, and so it is. We'll open it up if anybody would like to speak anything from that process or share anything. We'll have a couple of minutes to, if anything wants to be spoken into the room.
I felt the connectedness and support of everyone here in bringing about that peace within myself and living that peace in each of us. It felt real.
Thank you. And for those online who couldn't hear that, that was a sharing that she felt the connectedness of everyone here in supporting her and bringing forth that peace. And it felt real.
I can feel an energy of peace, particularly right at the end.
Thank you. And that was a person who could feel the energy of peace right at the end, particularly at the end. So thank you. So let's take a deep breath. The process that we use today, I invite you to play with for this week, or beyond this week, of course, which is simply to move into a willingness to be in forgiveness. Wherever we're out of peace is a place where we've held on to something. And so if we can let that go, we return to our natural state, which is peace. The second phase of that was then to simply ask to be shown what is the gift of this. Where is the good within this? Because oftentimes when we're hanging on to something, all we can see and feel is the pain and the hurt and the anger. But if we're willing to wrestle with the angel, we find that there's something deeper still. And maybe it's just that I'm a stronger person for having been through this, or whatever it is. But we ask for it to be revealed, what is that I've seen? And then finally coming out of that aha, that arising of the energy, is to share that energy with ourselves and then with those around us and with the world. So simply those 3 phases. Be open and willing to forgive. And like I said, sometimes we can't. So we just simply ask for our higher power, our inner wisdom self, whatever you want to call it, to do that forgiveness for us, to shift that consciousness, that energy for us. And then to gain from that whatever there is, whatever gift there is there. I'm reminded, many of you have heard the story of the little boy who was his parents were trying to cure him of his perpetual optimism, and so for Christmas they gave him a load of manure. And he goes digging through the manure saying, I know there's a pony in here somewhere. With all this manure, I know there's a pony in here somewhere. And so it may be a pile of manure, but there's a gift in there somewhere. And so it may take a lot of digging before you find it, but it's there. Allow yourself to move through that and to be freed.